Hey everybody. Alright, well, I'm dipping back into that odd book I got of Karl Marx. The kind of banned, apocryphal book, A World Without Jews. He's now building this argument about sort of the nature of the state, already jumping into a bit of Hegel as he's explaining the nature of the state. But he's basically he's establishing this idea of what happens when people see the state as the authority rather than religion, and that the state providing political liberation from all forms of authority so that humans can achieve their own kind of spiritual achievement because they're sovereign and yada yada yada. So, I mean, it's kind of an interesting idea. Oh shoot! I wonder if that's. No way. Is that you? No. No. There's another plowman. That thing is freaking cool. There was for a while only one snowplow guy in the area. These things are really awesome. I love snowplows. I know probably some of you are like, you like snowplows? It's like, dude, totally, dude. They're totally cool. I love machines because I don't really understand them very well. So they have, kind of there's an awe. I have the artist's love of machines. Some of you who are machine guys will get that. An artist's love of a machine. As I don't have to fix it. Something I was thinking about that was hitting me. The bourgeois thing of, so now there's, the vax thing is looking so bad. It's so bad now. It's gotten so fucking bad. And the beauty of this is now this stage at which things have gotten that you have, so Antifa beating people up who have a problem with the state itself mandating experimental big pharmaceutical solutions to an illness that might have been created by the military. And not just the military, but the military in cahoots with a communist dictatorship that genocides and erases the cultures of the respective peoples in the country, is now actively pursuing kind of de-homosexualizing their society. Yes, it doesn't matter. And citing Zbigniew Brzezinski's influence and George Soros as what is making their men homosexuals and weaklings and sissy boys. So they're erasing that part of what Antifa loves so much, effeminate, ineffective, ineffectual men. Overzealous dancing wimps. And so they're on the side, so people like CNN are on the side of Antifa. Supposedly CNN itself is opposing fascism. There's the Democratic Party has embraced them, with Keith Ellison posing with one of these pieces of fucking garbage, which all people who are Christian who know who Keith Ellison is remember this. He's posing with a guy who got famous because he literally knocked a dude out from behind when the dude was protesting abortion. And that guy Luis, with overwhelming numbers of people, he just attacked this dude from behind. It all started. He's like literally the person who started the violence in Portland. The guy really should be up on federal fucking charges. He should be in federal fucking prison. He's a gang leader. Like, I swear to God, it's amazing. Where this is at, that now people like Antifa have exposed everybody. This is the beauty of it. And for those people who are like that, Marxists, who see all of society as somebody they're plotting on their pockets, they're waiting to jump them. They're just some fucking, some sneak thief with a fucking shiv in the darkness waiting to take people's stuff because they're literally poorly socialized trash whose parents totally failed. Their parents failed. They came from bad genetic stock, and their parents socializing them poorly didn't help either. And the best part of it is, they're supported by the artist class. Without big celebrities, these people who we know, hell of them are involved with drugs and doing stuff with people who are not full-grown adults. And the beauty of this is there's nothing more bourgeois than artists. Nothing. And that Antifa are rife with art students because they're all bourgeois trash. They're people who couldn't compete. They didn't have the talent. And now, it's turning out they're all so fucking stupid chumps. And they got played by their paymasters. I bet a bunch of these people have gotten their boosters and all this stuff. And you have professional athletes dying on the fucking field. Now you have a New York Times guy magically dying of a heart attack right after he gets his booster. Israel's on its third, while Palestine had never had access to them. That's the part that I love most of all. All these people who say free Palestine, but then want their shots. Palestine couldn't afford the shots. They don't have a centralized government in every part of where Palestinians reside. So they didn't have the money. They couldn't sign with Pfizer. So they just treated it with therapeutics. And they have lower cases than Israel. That's the fucking best, most biting part of all of this. Of all of it. Is how, by the end of it, you see that Antifa has sided with the government of Israel as opposed to the people of Palestine. They've sided with the government of Germany as it was designed into a thing to command the entire EU via Brussels by a former Nazi. They're cheering along with all this. They're masturbating, thinking, oh, I'm doing what Hitler would have wanted. Oh, it feels so good. Oh, they're just thinking about his mustache. And thinking like, look, I beat you, Dad, I beat you. Oh, listening to Crass, or listening to actually a group that copies Crass, but is overproduced and it doesn't have anywhere near the amount of talent. And you see now, for people who know about Crass, this will have a kind of, there'll be a multiple levels of joke there. This is the best part. And now, the thing that I'm really, I just got to say it because it's true. It's a sin. It's bad. It's that bad part of me that's mean. Oh my God, so many women of my generation who are like, yeah, I got my shots and blah, blah, blah. And they've cut people off. These bitches have cut people off from their lives. I fucking see these dopey sluts all over the place trying to, oh, I've got my mask. Oh, and it's like, oh my God, this is great. You're going to be a crazy, lonely hoe all your life. You're going to have like that kind of fucking, like whatever man is with you is always going to have to be sitting there like, oh yeah, my bitch is crazy. She's still tripping off of the fucking coof. Every time like any sickness shows up, she's going to be freaking out. And it's only going to get worse. that's the best part about it. That's the part that I really like, is how it's only going to get worse for the tripping ass hoes, for these old tripping hoes. And for a lot of people who, there's people on the right that they still kind of like I get it. They know about people on the right. And so they're like, you know, they know thine own, in a sense. And what it is that, and I'm not going to name names, I just don't want to take it there. But they're like, you know, they're seeing the people with the magnets on the face and that kind of shit. And I don't know shit about that. One of you asked me about it. I don't know fuck all about that. Now, RNA being terribly unstable, yes, I do know about that. It's very difficult to stabilize RNA. That I do understand. That I know exactly. Like, I really do know that one. And that's why I never bought this. And then how, oh, we have to have these massive refrigerators. Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't have to have massive refrigerators. No, it's going to work perfectly without it being preserved in any special way, even though it's a brand new experimental form, you know, experimental procedure. And it just, everything about it, I'm like, this is probably scarcely effective, or what it does is not what it doesn't do what we are thinking it's supposed to do. Now that I've been completely vindicated on. It doesn't, they've changed the definition of what a vaccine is because of how not a vaccine this is. You know, and there's people who are like, oh, well, you know, one day it'll be a technology that will be so valuable. And it's like, yeah, and so we should really have an effort for these people to, I don't know, come clean about it and provide the data to everybody so that we have ways that we could really see, like, who would actually, if you're taking heart medications, is this bad for you? Oh, we can't know that for another 70 years. So this is, again, this thing of, no, there's a lot of people who are on the right who are trying to be gentlemanly and are trying to be the smart guys in the room. And one of the problems that they're having is that they're being naive. And also they're presuming to some degree that there is no larger story. Like the Wuji app company based out of Microsoft Genomics, like that has nothing to do with it. That Microsoft Genomics has nothing to do with this. And that Bill Gates being so into this has nothing to do, that none of these are connected. Now, to some degree, they could say because none of them are connected yet. And there's too much of a coincidence going on here. And then there's the part of me that it's like, boomers can't really get past you. Like, this is good because I like it. And then I'll never get past this. I always keep finding that I'm brought back to, no, it really kind of does. They're not self-sacrificing people in that way. It's not a generation that really thinks we're going to have to. They're not the workers at the Japanese nuclear factory, refinery. They're not those kind of people. There's some people like that, but they're no. And Aaron Clary's somebody who really has kind of made me see this, and Stefan Molyneux with just the economic part of it. And also then I could see there's people on the right who they're probably damn tired of the stupid. That they sit back and they're just like, well, no, fuck you guys. You're idiots. and that I could get that. I could totally get that one too. Like, no, you guys, a lot of my countrymen are idiots. So fuck you, because they're getting to that age where, you can't take it with you, so you might as well, give away all the fucks, you know. Oh, if, you know, one day I'm going to be gone, might as well let people know how goddamn dumb they were when they were young, you know. And so I get that about some of the older guys on YouTube who are on the right and are like, you idiots with your magnets on the face, you know. And that's going to be one of the biggest, this is going to be one of the biggest deals ever. And the people who are missing the connection to Microsoft genomics, and that what this appears is a way of subsidizing the genomics industry. It's given the genomics industry a library of genetics, lots and lots of samples. Now the government can force, governments all over the world can force people to give their genetic data to these companies and just say it's because to keep you safe. And all the women will go along with this. The women have obviously no problem with being treated like cattle in this manner, as long as it's an expert telling them this is going to keep you safe. That's really one of the saddest parts about all of this, is like kind of how clear that is now about the nature, that evolutionary nature. But yeah, it's genomics getting subsidized, and it's interesting to see who supports it. All right, later.